like that. I like that. Crazy like some animal. My friends, they tell me I'm losing control, but I got a secret they don't know. I like that. I like that.
And we are live. Good afternoon. It's my first live ever on my channel. I'm a little bit nervous. It's great to see everyone here. Hello, Michael from Brazil. Hello, Christina from Germany. Guten Tag. Cześć, Emilia from Poland. Multi-purpose, that's not your real name, I'm sure. Tanya is here from Brazil. There's a lot of people. Yogesh is from India. It's really cool. You're all very, very welcome to my first ever live lesson with this wonderful streaming software that permits me to stream on YouTube Live and onto Facebook. So today's lesson, I want to say hello to everyone, but I also want to start the lesson relatively quickly. Today, I want to talk about the present perfect, and I want to talk about it in the idea of duration, about how long have you been doing something. Yoti, I know it's nighttime in India. I admire you very much if you're watching this late at night. For some people in Brazil, it's almost the morning, or in Mexico, it's almost the morning. So, Yoti, I'm very grateful you're here. If it's the nighttime for you, Farida, good afternoon. So, let's get started. I have a really cool presentation. I'm going to try to look at some of the comments and answer as much of your questions. So I want to give a basic presentation. Then we're going to have a quiz, which will be a special video, which you will need to write the correct answers. You will need to find the mistakes. And at the end, we have a conversation question, sort of 5 basic conversation questions about the present perfect to practice the kind of grammar. Hola, Marcos. How's it going? How are you, man? Because I want to talk about the present perfect, but I want to talk about why we use it. What ideas are we trying to express? I feel a lot of people have confusion with the present perfect, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how in translation, my present perfect idea, my thought, what I want to express, I express this in a different way to your language. And that's going to be a little bit the focus here today, looking at the differences. So we're going to have a presentation, a class, and I have a special link later if you want to get the slides. If you want to I think I have the link now, actually. It's a free little course on my platform where you can get the slides. I'm going to post the slides directly after. So we have a lesson, we have a quiz, and we have a little bit of conversation that you can practice in the comments. All right, let's get started. Let's see if my magic technology will work. It's working. All right, perfect. Okay, it is working. So today is present perfect 1 because I would like to start doing more classes on Saturday. I'd like to do more live classes because it's more exciting, it's more fun, and because sometimes when I'm making YouTube videos, it's really a lot of work in the studio and editing. Sorry, just a little bit of water. Hi, Lloydie, how are you? And it's easier just to kind of go live, all right? So, hi, Silvio from Colombia. Buenos días para ti, buenas tardes para mí. So, let's get started. Let's look through the presentation, and I will try to pay attention to some of the questions in the comments, but I will just give the lesson first, all right? So the first detail, small detail, and important detail is that English has kind of 2 kinds of verbs. Now, you don't see this a lot in grammar books, but what I mean is that the verb to have is a little bit special in English. Sometimes it can be a be verb, sometimes it can be a do verb. Now, that's maybe not so clear, but what I mean is, and in a very simple way, not too much complicated grammar stuff. Hi, Ricardo. Hi, Revanth Kumar from India. How are you? If we look at this sentence here, I have time today. I have done it before. So what kind of word is time and what kind of word is done? All right, because this is important when we look at the fact that time is a noun or a thing and done is a verb. That's the basic difference. Because if we look at phrases like this about what is after the verb have, or I have done it before, all right? Oh, hello, Laura. Is Christina from Hungary? Servus. Fernando, my great friend from Venezuela. He's here as well. Cool. So if we look here now at the negative of the verb, if you look very closely at the difference now, because on one sentence we have, that's not correct. I need to make a correction. I'm sorry. Oh, this isn't very professional. It's working okay. All right. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. That's not working. All right. So on one sentence, you can say, I don't have time today. You use the word don't. And another sentence, you use I have not done it before. That's important because in the verb in your language, when we think about translation, Usually the negative in other languages is extremely simple. Like in Spanish or Portuguese, it's just the word no or now, or nicht in German, or nie in Polish. It's usually very, very simple. And this is one of the small kind of problems that we see, because I know it's a small detail to start, but if you look at the two sentences again, I have time today, I have done it before. What kind of word is time? What kind of word is done, right? That time is a noun or a thing, and done is a verb, or it's the past participle, right? So I don't have time today. I have not done it before. And that's what I mean when I say the verb to have in English is a little bit special, because sometimes in translation, it's not so clear. For example, the correct phrase in modern English is to say, I don't have time. It is possible to see a sentence like, I haven't the time, but this is old, archaic, not really correct today. It's not used in modern English, all right? And before we continue, it's important to understand this little difference, right? Because to form the present perfect, we have the present tense of the verb, you have the past simple, and then the third one, you know, what you always see in your grammar book, the past participle, right? And that's the part of the verb we use with present perfect. Hi, Cleverson from Curitiba. Girish Kumar, good. You're a big fan. I'm a big fan of you too for coming to the class. So if we just look again, that if we have and a noun, that in the negative it will be don't, and the question will be do, okay? But if we have and a verb, have plus the past participle, you will see have not done it, and then changing the word order in a question. That is a small, fundamental, important detail before you start with the present perfect, because you must understand that the present perfect is using a verb, past participle, and will always use not in the negative, okay? And that's in our quiz later, actually, right? So these are our form, right? With I, you, we, they, have, and past participle, okay? With he, she, or it, it's the word has. You get there? What's Fernando asking? Sorry, Fernando, I'm going to come back to the questions in the end. I can't. Can I use haven't got? No, haven't got is okay, Fernando. Haven't got is okay, but haven't and a noun is not okay, right? But he, she, it has been, seen, gone, right? And the negative, this is the important part. I have not been, have not is to haven't, all right? Georgia from Italy, ciao, come ti vanno le cose? And he or she has not, hasn't been. And then to ask a question, you change the word order. Because a lot of students, when learning questions, you learn, well, first you learn about are you, can you, changing the word order, and later you learn do you want, do you need. But it's important to understand that you will never see don't or do you with the present perfect, all right? Hazishin. So we have two basic ideas with the present perfect. One is the present perfect simple. Now, I don't love grammar terminology. I try to avoid grammar terminology, not too much. But we have the simple, which is I have lived here for 2 years. And then present perfect continuous is I have been living here for 2 years with the ing, right? So the present perfect continuous, now I will explain the differences, I promise, okay? I will explain. It's I, you, we, they, have been, verb, ing. I have been working, I have been traveling, etc., right? Or he or she has been traveling, has been working, right? In the negative, I have not been working, have not been living or traveling, okay? And negative again with he, she, it, right? Now, that's just the basic form of how you create it. Now, let's talk a little bit about fundamental ideas. Because with the present perfect, there are different ways we use it. there are different reasons why we use it. And there's 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways. But I want to talk about 2 fundamental ways. And in fact, when I like to give an introduction to the present perfect to my students, I like to explain it in 2 basic ideas. One idea is duration, right? Something started in the past and continues now. For example, I started this class at 3:30. It is now 3:45. I have been talking for 15 minutes, right? It started and continues now, all right? The second idea with the present perfect, and I want to talk more about the second idea next week, next Saturday. Today's focus is on duration. But the second idea is an action or experience in the past, but we don't know when exactly, okay? Let me give you some examples. So this is my town. This is where I am now. If you don't know, I'm Irish. I know my accent is not super Irish, but I am Irish, believe me. And this is my small town. This is where I am now. During the pandemic, I'm at home like everybody. So here I am, right? But an action that started in the past and continues now. So I am in Donegal town now, right now. And November 2019, I returned. I was living in Portugal. I lived in Portugal for 1 year. And November 2019, I came home. I returned home to my hometown. And I was just relaxing, enjoying life with my parents. And the pandemic started, and now I'm here. I was going to leave, but now I'm staying, of course. But the point is that something started in the past, right? And it continues now. So I have lived in Donegal for 1 year, 2 months, or I have been here for 1 year, 2 months. All right. Sorry, guys. Just got to check my phone. It's kind of hard to see the comments. Actually, it's kind of impossible. They're not appearing. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back. There's something wrong with the comments. I can't see any new comments. So I will come back to more questions, okay? Now, the second idea that I want to talk more next week in next week's class is an experience or action in the past, but we don't know when exactly. And these are the questions that you hear. Have you ever? Have you ever been to Ireland? Have you ever tried jet skiing? Have you ever tried skiing? It's that moment where I'm asking a question. For example, I can ask you in this one, have you ever been to Italy? Or you can say, I have visited Italy 2 times or have been to Italy 2 times. And you are saying, yes, this experience happened, but you are not saying when. And that's that crucial difference. Now, we will see this more detail next week if you want to come to the class next week. But that idea is you don't know when. Now, if we have the past simple with questions like did he, did you, or whatever, the important difference is that we say when. There's almost always some information about when, what happened. For example, I went to Italy 3 years ago. This is true. But because I'm telling you when, that's the difference in the simple past. And again, I'm going to talk more about the simple past next week, all right? So just for another example of simple past as compared, for example, I worked in a restaurant when I was a student. It's the idea I started university in 2014, finished university in 2018, and it's over. But you know clearly when this happened, all right? Sorry, 1 second, guys. I want to see if I can read the comments, but it's not working. Oh man, newest first. It's hard being an online teacher. So I want to continue our focus now on the idea of started in the past and continues now, right? And we have 2 ideas, or not 2 ideas, sorry, 2 ways to express this. First way, best way, is I have been working at PayPal for 2 years. And it's also possible to say I have worked at PayPal for 2 years, all right? Oh man, I can't see any comments. Oh, that's so annoying. I wanted to answer your questions, but I can't see the comments. So if you ask me, well, what's the difference? In this case, when we're expressing duration, when I want to say that, okay, I started this action 2 years ago, it continues now, and I have been working at PayPal for 2 years, this form, I have been working, is more common than I have worked. Same meaning, same fundamental idea, but native speakers prefer, in speaking, in general, just conversation, to say, I have been working at PayPal. So I have been, right? And this is idea that it started in the past and continues now, okay? So we have phrases here like I have lived, have been living here for 6 years, I have been here for 6 months, I have worked or been working as a teacher for 9 years. Okay, all right, so this is just the form again. All right, so this question here, I really want you to pay attention and I really want you to practice. All right, how long have you been living here, right? Or how long have you been working where you work? I ask you, where do you work? How long have you been? And you are asking the duration. You are asking how long, what from the point you started until now, right? So let's look with 3 essential verbs of to be, to live, and to work, about how we can use these to express these kind of ideas. How long have you worked here is the question. I have worked here for 6 months. How long have you been working here? I have been working here for 6 months, right? So these are just the different forms. Now, if you remember that I have worked here is less common than I have been working here, all right? But it's the best, most common way. How long have you been working here? How long have you been living here? I have been living here for 2 years, all right? And now, before I talk about Barcelona, I want to talk about Barcelona. So just at this point here, I want to explain one fundamental difference. If you think about now, let's take the sentence, I have been living here for 2 years, right? Let's just take that sentence. If you express this in your language, now there's 36 people watching, so probably it's maybe 10, 15, 20 different languages. I can promise you, you probably express this using the present simple. That if we think about, well, how do you express the phrase or translate the phrase, I have been living here for 2 years? Usually you will say something like, I am living here 2 years, or I am living here since 2 years, or since 2 years I am living here. And to use the present simple in this way is incorrect. To say like I am living here 2 years or since 2 years I am living here, it's all incorrect. And that is the fundamental point of why people find the present perfect a little confusing. Because the way you express, I know like in French or in German, you can just add the word since. You can say a phrase like, since 2 years I am living here. And in French or German, it makes perfect sense. But when you start to translate directly into English, that's when it doesn't work. And that's where we see mistakes. And we have a quiz where I'm going to ask you to try to find the mistakes in a couple of minutes, all right? So just to give you some context, I want to talk about my study year in Barcelona. I lived for 1 year in Barcelona in 2008, a long time ago. I went there to study Spanish, to learn Spanish. I had an amazing time. It was my second time to try to live in a different country. The first time was France, but I only stayed 1 week. I couldn't find a job in the little city where I was. So I packed my bags and prepared everything. And my intention was to study for 8 weeks in a language school and later find a job, which I did. I worked in a restaurant. So the 14th of March, 2008. Sorry, just small mistake there, guys. It's so many slides. It's easy to make a mistake, right? 14th of March 2008, I arrived in Barcelona. I had problems finding my accommodation. It's a big city, but it was okay. It was okay in the end. It was a really hot day to walk in the streets of Barcelona. It was 14th of March when I arrived, and I needed to take a taxi to my accommodation. I could not find the accommodation. And then the next day, I started to study at Escuela Camino in Barcelona, and it was an amazing experience. I have a friend, 2 or 3 friends since from that school, from that period, right? And I made so many new friends at the language school over the world, but most of the other students had basic Spanish, but very good English. There were students from everywhere, from Poland, from Germany, from Russia, from Ukraine, everywhere. It was a very, very international. So a lot of them arrived with very basic Spanish but good English. So unfortunately, outside of the classes, I usually just spoke more English, unfortunately. But when I met new people at the school, a very common question was, how long have you been in Barcelona, right? So in that context, in 2008, when I was in Barcelona and when this was happening, and when I met new people, how long have you been in Barcelona? How long have you been studying Spanish? How long have you been living in Barcelona? And so what you are trying to show is duration, about the moment you arrived in Barcelona and the person asking now. That really what I want to show with the present perfect is just show this idea of duration, and something happened and it continues now. To maybe try to not worry so much about rules, but think about, well, what are you really trying to say with the present perfect? So in this case, I have been in Barcelona for 2 weeks. Now, this is a conversation I had, 10, 12 years ago in Barcelona, right? Or I have been in Barcelona since March 14th, right? So everybody was from a different country in the language school. And when we ask this question, how long have you been here? How long have you been living here? We want to understand the duration, how much time has passed since the moment you arrived in Barcelona and the moment the person is asking the question. So a simple question now is, I can ask you guys. I can't see the comments for some strange reason. I'm looking at the comments on my phone because I'm presenting. So I can't see any comments. It's really annoying. Oh, man. But how long have you been learning English? So there was a moment when you started. And if you're watching this channel, which is an educational channel, then you continue to learn English. So how long have you been learning English, right? So it's the same idea of duration, of how much time passed between your arrival in Barcelona and now, right? Or, sorry, what's the question? How long have you been learning Spanish? This was a really common question in language school, because you want to understand the duration between one event and the other event, right? How long have you been in Barcelona? How long have you been studying Spanish? How long have you been living in Barcelona? Now, this is really important. Please look very, very carefully at this here. So the number one mistake when people are asking a question with how long is the first instinct is to use the present simple, to express it in the present. And why is this so normal for you? Because this is probably exactly what you do in your language. If your language is French, Spanish, or Portuguese, or a lot of the languages, they ask you in some way, or like, since how long are you in Barcelona, or how much time do you have in Barcelona, right? And you need to be very careful that you need to say, how long have you been? That the English-speaking brain, the English language, it really likes this present perfect to talk about duration. And you need to understand that the differences between your language and my language is a little bit the problem. I mean, like, for example, for me, when I speak Spanish or I speak Portuguese, I make the mistakes of an English speaker. I have the difficulties of an English speaker because when we learn a new language, our first language is interfering a little bit. But that's the most important thing. Like this question here, since how long do you study Spanish? Completely incorrect. It's how long have you been studying Spanish? All right. So let me take a glass of water for a second. You're asking for suggestions to increase vocabulary, Yoti, and I think the big thing for vocabulary is to obviously reading from context, put something in the correct situation. But my number one piece of advice for vocabulary is when you're learning new vocabulary, practice your writing, but write something personal about you. Like, for example, I'm studying Spanish a lot at the moment. I'm really, really studying a lot. But write it, make it personal. Personalize it about you. If you're going to write some vocabulary, try and make it true or a true feeling or true expression, all right? No, Yotti, I'm having problems with the comments. I'm sorry, but I'm doing my best. So let's talk now about for and since. Now, listen carefully with the pronunciation. Since. Let me put the microphone nice and close here. Since, all right? Not science or sans or anything. It's since. So you have for and the quantity of time, and you have since and the date or the time, all right? So you can say, I have been here for 2 weeks. Why isn't the comments working on my phone? That's really annoying. 1 second, guys. Sorry, this is my first live. I'm kind of nervous and I really want to read your comments, but I cannot do the presentation and all the comments at the same time. My phone's not working. All right. So I have been here for quantity of time. For 2 weeks. I have been here for 6 months. Or I have been here for 6 years, for a week, for a month, for 3 hours, for 2 hours, right? Since, so pronounce with me if you have difficulties. Nice. Since. Never since, right? Since. Since in the time marker, right? So I have been here since March. I have been here since yesterday, where you give the date or the name, right? So I have been here in Donegal since last year. Or no, since November 2019, right? That's when I came home from Portugal. So I have been here since this morning, since yesterday, since last week, since month, since March. When you give those clear time words, all right? So just be careful again that when you have been here for 3 weeks, then you have not been here for 3 weeks in the negative, and changing the word order. Have you been here for 3 weeks in a question, all right? So when we ask how long, this is really the best way. Some people ask like how much time, and I can't say this is incorrect, completely incorrect. I can tell you a native speaker will not really say this very often. We prefer to say how long. So how long have you been here, right? Or how long have you been here? Or how long have you been here? Oh, sorry, I'm repeating myself. How long have you been living here? And this kind of stuff, right? And again, one of the fundamental parts of the lesson today, and the number one problem, the number one mistake is that it's so natural for you to express duration in your language in the present simple, or using a word like since and then the verb in present simple, and it doesn't make sense. And that's the number one correction we really need to make, all right? So, for example, here, how long have you lived here? How long do you live here? It's incorrect. How long have you been living here? Not how long do you living here? How long are you living here, right? So I want you to see those little mistakes that people have, all right? All right. All right. Okay. Now we're ready for some practice, are we? I think we're ready for a little quiz. Are you guys okay there? So often, you're asking about the pronunciation of often. Yeah, the T is silent, so it's often, often, often. All right, Jesus Algara, you're here as well. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna play a video for you guys, and I want you to find the mistakes in the sentences and write it in the comments. All right, it will be a little video coming now in a second, and you have 30 seconds for each sentence, and you can write the comments. You can write it there, and after the quiz, I will be back, and we're going to correct one by one. Sarah of Multipurpose, what should I do to perfect my general English accent? I have some very good videos on the channel about speaking training, accent training. It's a lot about, I think recording yourself is a really good piece of advice. I record myself speaking a lot, Saurev, but I have several videos on the channel about this actually. Okay, thank you, Mary. You're being very kind. All right, you guys ready for the quiz? Let's get started. All right. Okay. Please tell me, do you want to see the quiz again? Was it too fast? Do you guys need more time? Do you guys want to see it one more time? Please let me know in the comments. Maybe I don't know. Is it or maybe you can tell me? Do you need? Is 30 seconds enough for every question? Is it too much? Or well, maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. But next week I will make changes. But I think today we'll just check it out together. All right. Oh, Lloyd's writing to me now. All right. So let's have a look at some of the questions. So the first one here, a lot of people got it correct. Let's see who got it correct. Christina got it. I have been training karate since I was 3 years old. Very good. Since 3 years old, it's better to say since I was 3 years old. I saw you, Silvio, but very good. It's better, Silvio, to say I have been training karate since I was 3 years old. So again, it's the idea that something started in the past and continues now, but you cannot use the present tense for that there. The next one is, I have been learning English for 5 years. Christina Jesus, you got that correct. Very good. Rosalia, very careful, please. Rosalia, it's not correct to say, I am learning English since 5 years. That does not make... I can understand, but it's definitely not correct. It's not correct in the same way, okay? Let's see. Farida, there, right? So, how long are you working there is incorrect. How long have you been working there? Farida, you got that correct. Michael D. Fernandez, very good. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so how long have you been there? Number 4, I have been drinking coffee all my life. This is another common mistake with the present perfect continuous where people forget the ing, all right? So Michael D. Fernandez, Farida, you all got it. Rosalia, I have been drinking coffee all my life. Very good. You got it. Excellent. All right. I have been working on this same problem for 10 hours. So some of you got it. Yep. Ahmed, I've been working for 10 hours on the same problem. Excellent. Good. So Ahmed, what you wrote, I've been working for 10 hours on the same problem. It's exactly the same idea. I just put for 10 hours at the end, but you got it. Very good. Farida, I've been working 10 hours on the same problem. Very good. All right. Doing not so bad. How long have you been studying English? Emilia, very good. Super. Bardzo dobrze, Emilia. Good man, Silvio. I've been working 10 hours on the same problem. I've been drinking coffee. So, Rajav Jossi, I have been drinking coffee since all my life. No, it's better to say I've been drinking coffee for all my life, or I've been drinking coffee my whole life, or all my life. That's probably the best. I've been drinking coffee all my life. It's probably maybe the better one. Finally, the comments are working. Number 7, we have 2 possibilities. I have worked here for 3 weeks. Rosalia, you got it. Farida, yes. I have worked here for 3 weeks. I have been working here for 3 weeks. So please be careful to say I worked here for 3 weeks. That is possible, but it means an action that is finished. If you say I worked here for 3 weeks, then this action is over. It's finished. But the difference is if you say I have worked here or I have been working here, it continues now and it's true now. All right. Now, but we're going to see this more next week. All right. Number 8, I have not been practicing my... Ahmed, you got it. Very good. Jose Barachini, how long have you been studying English? Very good. Yogesh, I've been drinking coffee for all my life. And I have not been practicing my English recently, or I haven't been. Farida, how long have you been working there? Christina, yes, very good. So Raghav Jossi was asking, is it wrong to use since in the 5th sentence? So let's check number 5. No, so 10 hours is a quantity of time. So in the case of Raghav Joshi, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it. So yes, it is wrong to use since, because we can only say about 10 hours as in is a duration of time. But let's say we wanted to change it. Let's set there. And you can say to change the sentence, to add since, in this case, I have been working on this problem since yesterday. And that's the basic difference, Raghav, about you can, what is after for is the quantity of time. And then to say, I have been working on this problem since yesterday. Yesterday, you will give it the name of the time or a date. Or for example, you can say, I have been working on this problem since 2 p.m., since 3 p.m., since yesterday. If you want to use for, you will always use the quantity of time. I hope that makes sense. You got it. You got it. Okay, great. All right, guys. Okay, so we're doing okay so far. Let's continue to a little bit. Try to answer any questions I have. Oh, the comment disappeared again. Oh, man. I was doing so well. I could see the comments. All right, so let's start some conversation practice together. All right, so we're going to take a couple of minutes for a couple of conversation questions. So my first question is, how long have you been learning English? And the second question is, how long have you been learning English seriously? Okay. Now, what is the difference between the question? Where's the comments, man? I can't see the comments. It's so annoying. I want to talk to you guys. All right, I'll come back here up to the comments. So how long have you been learning English, and how long have you been learning English seriously? Because a lot of you started English in secondary school or primary school, but a lot of you now are practicing or learning English seriously. So now a lot of you're learning as adults. All right. So that's my question now. So to answer this question, you will say, I have been, oh, hey, Lloyd, how's it going? I have been learning English for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or since last year. So that's what I want to write in the comments, please. Practice. How long have you been learning English? As in, maybe when did you start when you were a child? And how long have you been learning English seriously? All right. Because in my case, I started French, my first class, when I was 12 years old. But I did not... Silvio's saying never. You've never been learning seriously. You joker, right? But I started French in my secondary school when I was 11 or 12. And I'm 35 now, which means almost like 22 years. But really, I started to learn French seriously when I was 19. So like for French, Spanish, and Portuguese, I have only been learning seriously for about 15 or 16 years. I have been learning English for 9 months. All right, Sayafullah, you just missed the ing. I have been learning. All right, don't forget the ing. Learning English for 9 months. What about the rest of you? Rosalia, Christina. Christina, you have been learning English seriously for 4 years. Been learning English for 4 years. I'm very curious, Christina, what's your motivation to learn? Why did you start? Emilia, you have been learning English seriously for 3 years. Well, we're speaking very well to do it seriously. Lloyd is asking, in the negative present perfect, we can't use two modals, do and have. Not really sure I understand your question, Lloyd. Can't use two modals, do and have. No, only not. Not sure about that. So Christina Jesus, you have been learning English since, so you need to say since I was 19 years old. All right. So you will, I can't do that there. So if you're going to use since and your age, then you will say, I have been learning English since I was 19. So let me compare. For example, I have been learning Polish since I was 21. Nie umiem tego mówić bardzo dobrze, ale ja myślę, jest fajnie mówić po polsku. Or I'm just joking. But I have, been learning for a couple of years, but I have been learning since I was 21 or 22. Tanya Vostupal says, I've been learning English since I was a little student. I have been learning English seriously for 9 months. Someone said, Mari Sampaio, yeah, I'm very happy to be your teacher on Udemy. Absolutely, I have many courses there. Cool, all right. Silvio, now you give me a real answer. I have been learning English seriously since last year. Okay, very good. Now we're practicing a lot more. We're getting a lot more practice in the comments. So let's go to the next question I have here. Very simple. 2 questions. Where do you live? Michael D. Fernandez. I've been learning English seriously for 2 months. Oh, so you're doing very well if it's only 2 months, Michael, all right? Where do you live and how long have you been living there? Now, I live in Donegal town. It's a small town in the northwest. And I rent a small apartment here in the town. And yes, Lloyd, in the negative, we must use not, exclusively not. Christina, you have English-speaking friends in Sri Lanka. Oh, I wanted to go to Sri Lanka before the pandemic. I have a friend. He's an English teacher who works in a monastery, Buddhist monastery. I wanted to go and I wanted to teach, but what can I do? So I live in an apartment and I have been living here since the start of the pandemic. Do you want? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your exact address, Lloyd. Yeah, why not? Ahmet, merhaba, Ahmet. You live in Mersin, Turkey, and you have been living since you were born there. All right, very good. Rosalia, you have been so careful, Rosalia. You have been living in High Wycombe for 3 years. It's not correct to say I live in Wycombe since 3 years. You want to say I have been living in. Oh, I can't spell it. Wycombe for 3 years. Right. So I have been living in this apartment for I think 8 months. So I can say in 2 ways, right? I think, was it March or April? I can't remember. I think it was, I have been living here since March 2020, basically. I have been living here for 6-7 months or whatever it is, whatever there, right? Christina Urvendek. Christina, I live in Solimar next to Budapest in Hungary. I've been here for 9 years. Fantastic. I've been to Budapest twice. Beautiful city. My dentist is in Budapest. Emilia, I've been living in Dublin since 2019. Oh, bardzo dobrze. Ja myślę, zajebiście, Emilia. I miss Dublin. Jose Luis Carretero, I've been learning English seriously since 2 years ago. Okay, so careful, Jose. We won't say I've been learning English seriously for 2 years. For 2 years. Tanya is living in Curitiba. You have been living there since 1993. Perfectly. All right. Saifullah, been living there since you were 4 years old. All right. Christina says, I've been living here for 9 years. Mari Sampaio, I live in Limeira, Brazil. Mais me vitória para Brazil. Living here since 2020. Vihandu Dulna says, blah, blah, blah. Domi lomi freaking idiot. Thanks for your feedback. Yogesh says, I've been living here since my birth. Yeah. So you can say since your birth. You could also say, Yogesh, I have been living here since since my birth. Yeah. Or since I was born here. Born here out there. Michael D. Fernandez says, I've been living here since I was transferred to school. Yeah. Boo. Oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. All right. Block, delete, block user. All right. Oh, I had a troll person. That's fun. Ooh. 1 second, guys. Which question, Yogesh? Which question is it? I had a troll, a guy writing insulting comments. That's unusual. That's kind of fun. All right, let's move on to our next basic conversation question today. A couple of questions here. What is your profession, or where do you work? Yogesh, can you repeat in the comments which one? I live in India. I have been living here since my birth. Yeah, I've been living here since I was born here, or I've been living in India all my life. It's kind of unusual. It's correct. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So Raghav, careful, Raghav Joshi. I have been living in Delhi for 10 years. For 10 years. All right, not there. All right, we got it. I'm just laughing at this one guy here. Oh, really? Blah blah. I just think that's hilarious, right? So I am a teacher. I'm an English teacher. I work from home. I have been working as an English teacher for 9 years. When I started, I worked in a language school. I taught Brazilians and Mexicans in a language school. And the school closed, a big financial disaster. It was really horrible. After that, that really motivated me to start to work online. And I have been working completely online for 4 years already out there. But how long, where do you work, or what is your profession? And how long have you been doing this? Or if you are studying, how long have you been studying it? Farida, my good friend Farida, is a teacher by profession. Oh, you're a child. You don't have a profession. Well, enjoy it, Raghav. Enjoy it. So Ahmed is saying, I am computer programmer. So careful, I am a computer programmer. You need to use the article, Ahmed. I am a computer programmer. And I have been working as a professional in this job for 12 years. So almost there. I'll write it for, I have been working as a professional in this job for 10 years. Let me write it for you. Lloyd is asking, in those exercises, did we use present perfect continuous because the examples were in progressive? I don't understand that question. What do you mean because they were in progressive? I mean, present perfect continuous and the present perfect progressive are the same thing. Mari Sampaio, so I work with music since I finished college. So careful, you want to say I have been working with music since I finished college, right? Oh, you're a musician, cellist, and music teacher. Very cool. Yes, Mary, Mac. We all remember Mac, right? Oh, Ajaz is here. Hello, Ajaz. So you can try to Ahmed. What company? Well, you don't need to write the name of the name of the company. But are you working for a company now? You can write another sentence now, Ahmed. Like, how long have you been working at this company? And try and get it. Multi-purpose. So I am an engineer. I have been working as a quality engineer for 4 years. All right. Tanya is a manager in an IT company. What is TI? It's information technology. Christina, so I am an economist. I know the word and there doesn't exist in your language, but just be careful. So I am an economist. Great to see you too, Ajaz. It's always good to see you guys. All right, so we've got one or two more questions here for you guys to practice. What is your hobby? What do you like to do in your free time? Do you play a musical instrument or practice a sport? I play guitar. Well, enjoy it, Raghav. If you're a child not having a profession, enjoy it. Jose Luis, you're a developer. What kind of developer? Are you a software developer or a construction developer? Please tell me more, Jose. I play guitar. Now, this is similar to my question before, that I have been playing guitar for a long time. I have been playing guitar since I was 14, but for a long time I did not play the guitar. But recently, during the quarantine, during the pandemic, I have been practicing a lot. Very good. Software developer, Jose Luis. Cool. So where are you working now, Jose? And how long have you been working there? So Silvio Walton. So I am a software developer. So in Portuguese, you don't need the article. Eu sou developer, software developer, as you know it there, right? But then you say, I'm working from home since last year. Oh, look, I have been working as a professionalist job for 20 years at least. All right. Is that a difficult job? Is that a difficult job? But with my hobby at the moment, playing guitar, I have been practicing the same 2-3 songs. Do you guys know the movie Inception? I've been learning the theme for this, Inception. I've also been practicing the song from The Mandalorian, and I've been practicing a lot get there. Rosalia, your hobby is gardening and learning English. My mother is a really passionate gardener as well. That's very nice. Yeah. I'm a little bit lazy to work in the garden, to be honest. Very lazy out there. So Christina, so try again. Christina, I have been playing the piano for a long time, because I know that's so natural in Polish that you can just say I have I do something and then for a long time. But in English, it must be I have been doing it for a long time. All right. I think I've got one more question for you guys, and I have a question. So Tanya likes to practice yoga. My mother's a yoga teacher as well. You love cooking. You love to try different dishes daily. Yeah, cool. I love cooking as well. Farida says, my hobby is singing and playing guitar, but I haven't been practicing guitar for a long time. That's true. So I'm asking, are you able to drive? How long have you been driving? And are you a confident driver? Yeah, I love The Mandalorian as well. It's really, really cool. It's a lot of fun. So Lloydie says, I'm learning English for 5 years. The correction is in present perfect continuous because the example is in present continuous. Yes, exactly, Lloydie. You need to say, I have been learning English for 5 years. Are you from Brazil, Lloydie? Because again, in Portuguese from Brazil, it's very, very normal to express this in the present tense. So I can drive. I am learning. I have been doing lessons for 1 or 2 months. I'm not a very confident driver. I want to be a confident driver. I'm just kind of curious. Can you drive? And are you a confident driver? Yeah, now you're tá começando a entender agora, Lloyd, né? Que tem que ser mesmo no I have been e not I am. Entendeu? Sacou? So how long are you driving? Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. That's the end of the class for today. For that. Remove. Okay, that's the end of the class. Raghav is a confident driver. Yogesh, you have been driving for 5 years. I'm jealous. Christina, you have been driving a car for 27 years. I'm jealous also. Driving is not Rosalia's favorite. I never drive a car, but you love traveling. Yeah, I need to drive. I don't really want to drive. I need to drive. Mari Sampaio, my hobby is reading books. My job is also a hobby. I have been learning English during quarantine. Okay, guys, that's it. That's kind of the end of the class. So if you would like the slides from the class today, there's a link now in the comments. Whoops, no. 1 second, guys, here. Tanya, you're able to drive but don't like it. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm the same. Oh, gracias, Jose. Me halagas con tus palabras. You can download the slides for free in this link I put in the comments. You can also find it in the description. You can also take some free mini courses with me. There's special mini courses in grammar, speaking, job interview, and listening. You can check it all out. Hope you enjoy it. And thank you for coming. I hope you had a nice time. Hope the quiz and I hope the practice was useful for you. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to come do another class next week at the same time. It's my intention to yes, Ragav, you just to get the slides, you just need to put a name and a password. It's 100% free. It's just an easy way for me to give you the slides, and I'm going to upload the slides in a few minutes. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks so much. I will come back in the comments to answer questions or doubts, and I hope you enjoyed it. All right. I have been speaking for 1 hour, and my voice is tired. Okay, guys. Thank you. It was my pleasure. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. All right.